Hi everyone, we are Sophia and myself, Sam, both from the Madrid office in Spain, and we've got a cool little solution we want to show that we're using to promote adoption of Copilot and how that works. So, Sophia, go ahead, introduce, and I'll show it in a minute.
Yeah, good. So the idea for this introduction that we are going to do for you is to introduce you the Copilot Adoption Bot. This is about together with Sam. Most of the work is from him, but we prepare to help companies to adopt Copilot, M365 Copilot, or even Copilot Chat. The idea behind this bot is the term nudge. And nudge means in this context, we refer to these small and timely interventions that guide employees toward new habits. So instead of forcing them to change, instead of doing training, instead of sending many emails to them, so we are sending this nudge in different ways that we will show you later. So we can remind them that, okay, hey, I have here Copilot. Let's try to do it. Let's try to use it, okay? So it's the way we will try to change employees' mindset to adopt Copilot. So first, let me do a quick introduction about change management, because when we implementing a new technology in a company, will not deliver the expected return of investment most of the time. So if we see these numbers here, 30% and 70%, we should think where we should invest most of our money here, in people or in deployment. Most of the company do the highest investment in technology, in deployment, but they never invest enough money in the part of people, in the human side of this change. So this what we are thinking here is up to 70%. Let me move in the animations here. So up to 70% of the impact of any transformation is driven by how we manage the human side of this change. So this includes guiding people, training them, supporting them, and helping them to build new habits. And this is the most important part here. Copilot is a powerful tool. We all know about this, but without any intentional behavior change, employees will default to old habits and they will not change anything in the way they work. So this is the idea for this bot that we are going to introduce you here today. When we introduce a change in a company, there are always like this proactive early adopters that doesn't care which technology is. They always adopt this technology. It's like, okay, a change, a new technology, let's use it. Let's see how this technology is going to help me. But this is only like around 50% of our, let me put like laser here, it's this here. Yeah, it's like 15% of our users. But the change we will get our return of investment with majority of them, and the late majority of them get these new ways of working. So this curve illustrates a concept many of you will recognize. This is the classic innovation adoption curve. So whenever we introduce a new way of working, employees fall into different groups. So here we have innovators and pioneers, majority, late majority, and laggards. So while innovators and pioneers naturally experiment these new tools like Copilot, they make up a small percentage of the organization. So the real change, as I say, comes when this majority and late majority receive and adopt these new habits. So what company usually do here? Trainings, webinars, a couple of emails, but this is not enough. This will reach like a 10 or 20% of our employees. So this is where this bot that we are going to introduce you here becomes essential. It helps us to reach this remaining users. So it gives us new ideas, but also reminds them that Copilot is there to help. So this nudge support people in the moment they need. And here are some ideas before Sam is going to present you the bot, that what we are expecting from this bot. So here we have one bot, but several goals. So for example, we could share with this bot weekly role-based prompts, like try this prompt this week based on your role as project manager. Or for example, we also could send them practical tips or micro recommendations, like, did you know you can ask Copilot to improve the tone of your message? Or also something that I really like is the use case spotlights. So for example, new ways to save time today, automate meetings, note summary, or quick start mini guides, new features and product updates. This is also important, Copilot tips and tricks. So there are like several goals, several nudges that we could share with our employees in terms to try to push and help the adoption of M365 Copilot or Copilot SAP. So this was like a quick introduction that we wanted to do in a business side of this bot. So now Sam is going to make it real and show you how this bot will become a reality.
Okay, thank you, Sophia. Right, now I've got the interesting part, which is hope the demo works. So you may have heard, or you may have seen before, Company Communicator from a couple of years back. We've borrowed some ideas from that system. Live demos with AI, definitely somewhat scary. So anyway, based on these use cases that Sophia was sharing, the idea is that we'll have some content ready to go. So in this case, I haven't got quite so many, but let's just take someone who's getting started with Copilot. And in this case, the content is an adaptive card, right? In all cases. So we have a library of content ready to go. We can even change it in real time if we want and see what that looks like before we send it. But at some point, we want to send a nudge to a group of users that we're going to target. So we can do that in a number of ways. We can, first of all, we'll give it some sort of name, pick a template that we just looked at, and we can add user by user if we wish, which is a very slow way of doing this. Or we can upload an Excel file, for example, with our pre-identified users that we want to message. Or we can use what is a new concept, as far as I know, called smart groups, which is basically a way of identifying users at the point of sending a nudge, according to a description in plain English, in this case. So how does this work? Well, we have an agent. So this system is Copilot connected. So we're connected to AI in the back end, and we essentially give it a list of users, a bit like this. It goes looking for the users in the organization, builds a list of all of them, who they are, where they are, etc., but also their Copilot activity as well. And then so off the back of that, we can then describe in kind of plain language who it is we're looking to target, and the bot will essentially just resolve that at the point of sending stuff. So a good example is Spanish team, anyone in Spain is the literal description. Pretty straightforward. If I do a preview, it should pull back a couple of results. Good. Phew, first demo done. No dramas. Right, there's two people here that match that. Very small office in Spain. Now, if we look at the actual metadata, we've got one user with Spain as the country, but we've got another one, Billy here, who's, whoever configured this profile did it wrong and wrote it in Spanish, España. Great. Normally that would trip a tool up. It would have problems linking the two, but because we're using AI, none of that's a problem. So we can select a smart group. We can add manually if we want. We can upload our destination list. Okay, fingers crossed. We've got our template we want to send. Good, so that's being sent now. I can monitor in real time how the sending of that is going. And it will auto refresh. Brilliant. The reassuring sound of a Teams notification. Good, it's all green. And we get a message, very much like company communicator. So it's a little introduction from the bot if it's the first time you've met it. And a little Copilot logo there, just in case there was any doubt. And here's the content that I've configured for this user. Now we want users to actually try the content. This is something I'm actually working on right at this minute. So at some point, you'll be able to click these buttons and then it will pre-populate the prompt in question into Copilot so you can just straight away try. It doesn't actually work right at this minute, but anyway, that's where we're going. Now, this may, if this was company communicator, that would be the end of the story. You send essentially blindly to people and then they look at it, like it, don't like it, whatever. However, for us, what we want to do is also provide some sort of a conversation as well. So the idea is that I can talk to this agent and say, can you guys see that all right, by the way? Maybe that's better. I like the Outlook tip. Matching it up on emails. So yeah, so I can essentially chat back to this, and what we have here is an agent, a type of agent that will respond, and that we can configure. So here in the settings, you'll notice that there's this prompt essentially that we can configure, like any agent, like any Copilot agent, and the responses sent to our bot here will use that prompt to then initiate a conversation. So, for example, imagine this. You get completely frustrated with Copilot, which seems unimaginable, but can indeed be possible. Let me think of something. I really don't understand Copilot. Sad face. Because of the instructions that I've configured. Okay, it's still trying to. It's still trying to help me. Help me. Let me be more explicit. Based on the instructions that I've put here, what I'm hoping it will do is. Okay, it has done it. I had to really make it clear that I really hate Copilot in this instance. It's going to escalate me to whoever I've configured to, take this further. Because if I'm a user that's having a genuinely bad time, we want a system in place that will allow that user to, move past this and start enjoying Copilot. So, yeah, that's the follow-up system. We have things that we can do that, if nobody's used Copilot, we can send them a getting started template. In this case, it's a demo environment, so pretty much nobody uses Copilot, so I don't want to spam it. I think the last thing to mention is probably this, so we can see how many users we've actually messaged in the organization and how much coverage we've got. In this instance, we've messaged 2, so we've still got a lot of people that we can nudge in the right direction. So here we can see clearly we've got a lot of work to do, a lot of nudges to send based on what our users are doing. I think that's it. Sophia, I don't know if you wanted to add anything?
I don't think so. I think that was all.
Okay. Just to mention, yes, this is a real project. Let me put
the GitHub link maybe.
Yeah, let me put that on here. Yeah, it's a real project. We have customers that are showing an interest in this already, and we hope you will too.
Yeah, something maybe we could add here is that currently, at least here in Spain, we are getting a good adoption for these tools like M365 Copilot or Copilot Chat. But what we are expecting with this kind of tools or gamifications in the companies is to increase up to 70% of the usage of M365 Copilot or Copilot Chat in the company. So maybe in a couple of months, we can share with you the success of this or not. Hopefully, yes. So let's see how these companies are adopting this, or if you have any comment or recommendation, we are here to hear it.